For language, usually it's Python, but I should try using Java for my interview
Oh, okay.
tomorrow.
What's the reason for that? I mean,
It's basically more on Java side, so they're using
okay,
Java,
cool,
yeah.
cool, cool. Oh my god, I just opened this huge ass project. Okay, hold on. Let's not do this one. Let's just
Whoa, what is going
let's just
on?
use a plain file instead. Yeah. I've been trying to explore using the projects for OOD, but I think the projects are a bit too projecty and they're a bit too big. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're gonna go through all the files for all
yeah,
the like the
yeah, I've done some of
subclasses
that.
and
Yeah, but I
everything?
realized that that's not really a skill, so it doesn't really matter. Um, okay, anyways, yeah, so
Yeah.
we can just go delete this. We don't need this stuff. Um, cool. So let's
Okay.
get into so we're doing object-oriented design. Let me just quickly check my notes again, make sure. What do we say? Yeah, cool. Okay, so yeah, let's get right into it then. So let me read out the problem description, and then you can feel free to take notes, ask questions as you need, and pause me if I'm going too fast, or let me know if there's any concerns. Okay, great.
Sounds
So in
good.
this
Yeah.
problem, we're going to be designing a currency exchange. Okay, this would be a currency exchange. So we're going to model functionality such as you know adding currency to currency exchange rates. Okay, and these are one directional, so they're not bidirectional. Okay, and then these
hmm
exchange rates are they can be whole numbers or they can be integers or floats, etc. So they can be any number, right? And then another functionality is that we want to be able to add money, right? Add money to this exchange,
Currency
and
exchange.
then
Yeah,
take money
okay.
out, or in other words, exchange money. So put money in and then get the exchange currency out.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Mm. Exchange money. Okay. Oh. And it's only one directional? There. Okay, so it's not
Yeah. So for example, if I
bi-directional.
say exchange dot add CAD to USD, and I say the rate is I don't know what's the rate right now, like 0.7 or something, 0.8. That doesn't mean that you can convert USD to CAD for 1 divided by 0.8. Does that make sense? Yep.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Mm. Oh wow, Java syntax is making me like stop in the middle.
Up to you what language you want to use, but if you want to practice Java, this is probably a good idea.
Yeah, I should probably keep up with
Okay.
Java.
If it's like a syntax question, you can always ask. In a interview, they probably wouldn't help you too much on syntax if it's object-oriented development and not lead code. But if it's too hard for to do this in Java, then if it's a bit hard, that's good for practice. If it's too hard, they don't practice anything. So keep that in mind.
Oh yeah, makes. Mm, Okay, yeah. I guess for that for currency exchange we can have a private uh a map for each string that maps to what should I do for the currency? I guess I could just use double for now. And then this map would hold all the exchange rates here. I don't know why that's red. Illegal modifier, only
There's
final
no
is
privates
permitted.
within functions.
Oh, all right, yeah. And then make up public class for currency exchange. I forgot all Java syntax. Oh my.
I'd probably put the currency exchange as the parent class, as like the overall parent class,
Oh yeah, that's probably better.
and then make a constructor where you initialize your stuff.
Mm-hmm. Why is this red? Oh, there you go. Okay. I don't think we need the main function anyways.
Yeah, we don't
Oh,
need we don't need it right now, but we can use it for testing later, depending on what we get.
yeah, okay, yeah. So, oh my God. Then private. Wait, what happened? Oh,
Fine.
there.
I just deleted the project.
Okay. Then make the. What should I call this? Exchange. Okay, there you go. Now we have a map over here that we're gonna be holding each where the name of the currency with the value for inside here,
What does
and
the value
then
mean in this case?
um like if you have USD for example, it will just have one as um as a $1, and then if you have CAD, it will also be the um value based on the USD over here.
Right. What if I don't put in USD as a currency? Then what will it be based on?
Right, wait,
Right. Like in other words, I want to be able to, right. Like if you think about a goal, right. We have some goals here, right. The first goal is I want to be able to public no not static public let's say void add. So this would be a string for one, string for two, right, and double. Right. So I want to be able to add currencies. Right. This is the first thing. Right. So I'll just this output CAD
mm-hmm.
USD because it's all caps, 3 letters. Okay. CAD USD and like 0.8 or whatever. Right. And so this is the first thing I want to support. Right. The other support is that I want to be able to exchange this amount. So and we can just for the sake of argument, we can assume that this exchange has infinite money, so it's always able to perform the exchange for now. It always has enough reserve of every currency that's been added to it. Right. So as long as the requesting exchanges for a valid currency that's in the exchange, it should be able to go through. Right. So public void exchange, or not void, but call it double exchange.
Yeah.
String my cur, right, string target cur, right, and this should give me the amount, and or I could give zero. I could give 0 or like throw an exception if the currencies aren't valid for some reason. So you can decide on that detail.
Mm. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Actually, rather than making a map like this, I think it's just better off to just make a make an object out of this where it would have the string currency here. And then make a constructor for currency and the rate. Wait, what is going on? Oh, it's the
The
syntax.
name of the constructor has to match the name of the class.
Oops. There we go.
But this is the constructor, so we don't necessarily need to pass anything in.
Oh. Oh wait, yeah. Mm. Then when you're adding new currency. Where did my map go? Oh, right. There we go. Okay, that was the syntax for a hash map. Oh my. Oh. So over here, when we're adding, we can just is this add? Wait, this add function is for adding the currency, or is it? Oh, why is there two
Because
currency
you
here?
add
Wait,
CAD, USD 0.8.
oh, CAD USD 0.8, right? Yeah. And but this, oh, there's three
There's three what? Three fields.
three parameters. Yeah, I was just thinking of, yeah, just putting in the um just everything as USD, so that if it's put in as CAD, then uh then it would just add the rate based on the. Oh wait,
I
no.
mean,
What am I
you
saying?
could still do that. You just can't use literally USD.
Right, right. Um, uh,
We
mm,
can we can
oh
we
my.
can we can proceed by assuming that the current. So we can assume that we're always adding something, right? The first currency, we'll
Right.
just say equals USD, right? Just say cur. It doesn't matter what
Hmm.
it is. We can call it USD. Okay. If we assume that the currency, let's assume that cur one is USD, then what would you do?
If the cur one is
Yeah.
USD, and I will be converting USD to
Yeah.
the um the currencies, the second currency, so that I can get the rate in that second currency value.
Okay. So how would you do the math? Like we can assume the first currency is USD for now.
Oh yeah, then if it's USD, then you can just get the rate of. Oh
Right.
no.
So we have cur one equals USD,
Wait.
cur two equals CAD. Doesn't matter. Right. Rate equals what is that? 1.3.
Something like that, yeah. But yeah. How do we get the syntax? Get it? Mm,
So you want currencies to contain like CAD and a 1.3, correct?
yeah. Then I can just put as this,
Okay.
but then the default for everything is just USD based on what is going on here. That like what I was trying to do at first, it was just like this. Oh well, that won't make sense. So
Right, but you can still do this, right?
like
But in this
yeah,
case, you need to do a bit more math,
yeah.
right? So the first thing is, um, I would say the first thing we need to check is we need to check if USD has been added. Can you, how do you
Yeah.
do that check?
Uh, you check if currencies dot not values. Oh no, it's the syntax. So you just gotta check if within the map for the string, you go through all the string and check if the USD exists
The
in
USD is the
there.
key or the value of the map?
That's
Yeah,
the
so you do
key.
map dot contains key.
Oh yeah, right. And then I would just need to have currency one inside here. And if it doesn't, you can um I guess you can just throw an argument.
Well, we shouldn't throw. This is always going to be valid, right?
Oh yeah, we can just add it inside there. Yeah.
So let's say, okay. You know what? Yeah, let's continue. By the way, you need a bracket here.
And yeah.
So if it contains, let's keep it this way. If it contains USD, okay, what do we do?
Yeah.
Because keep in
Contains
mind, right?
USD.
Our
We
our
can
our goal for this function is to do this, right? Oh, what is the hotkey? This. Our goal is to do this, right? Right. This is the goal: is to put two things in the currency map. Correct?
yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
given that that's the goal, how do we determine these two numbers?
Uh
So let's say we have, let's say over here. So this is our map. Our map contains, let me do, sure, USD 1, obviously, CAD 1.3, and then now let's say we have two inputs here. You have JPY, I don't know, it's 100 or something, and a euro, which is 0.9. Okay, so let's say, right, this is cur 1, and this is cur 2. Okay.
I don't think I'm getting updated on my code. That's weird.
Okay, let me go ahead and invite you again. I think CodePad refreshed for me for some reason. Maybe not if you can rejoin that with this one. Oh, never mind. I got logged into to the old one. Do you still see me highlighting here?
Oh, okay.
Never
There
sure.
you go. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let me copy this back. Okay, so let's say in this scenario, we have USD1, CAD 1.3, and our cur 1 and cur 2 our is a current input, right? And we want to
Yeah.
produce these two values. This is the goal, right? This is the goal.
Yes. Yes.
But keep in mind that, um, keep in mind that like this rate is derivative of these two. So uh, I'm trying to help you work backwards a bit here in case that would help, right? So
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah, that
So
makes
in this
sense. Yeah.
case,
Oh my, this is so
in this
confusing.
case, right, our rate would equal what? Would equal 100 divided by 0.9, which is 111. Right. So this is right. So this is JPY, right? Which, this next is incorrect. Doesn't matter, right? And this is going to be
Yeah.
0.9. No, it's not happy. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Who cares? This is our input. Okay.
Yeah.
How
Uh-huh.
with this input and this map, right? This is our map. How can you produce these two numbers?
Yeah.
What's the math needed here?
Mhm. First, we don't have the numbers
Yeah, you don't.
for the JPY or
The goal is to
EUY.
produce
Yeah.
these two numbers, and you
Mm-hmm.
can put them in the map, right? That's the goal.
Yeah.
Right now. So this is true, right? USD, we have USD in the map, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But if we're checking like currency one, like the JPI, for example, then we don't
That's right.
have
We
it.
don't have it.
So we we do have to put this inside our currencies map.
That's true. We have to put it in regardless if it contains it or not, though.
Oh wait, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's do it this way. I want to focus on a different problem, so let's simplify a bit. Okay. Let's add another function.
Yeah.
So public add currency, and this will be string currency, and then let me think. Okay, and then be able to do a string. So I made two modifications here. Okay. The first modification is that
Mm-hmm.
our constructor must take in a base currency. You can think of this as
Yeah.
USD. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is that
Mm-hmm.
I've added a new function where you add currency. Okay, and this currency uh, is this currency add is the currency the function you originally thought it was, which is that you add a currency, and you also put in a value relative to the base currency. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then, but this is the key, right? Is that if all you do is add currencies, you cannot exchange currency because there's no exchange rates. But these are all currencies relative to the base rate. So now we have add exchange.
Yeah.
Exchange. So now I'm gonna add this other function with this modify it, right? Currency cur one. I call it cur one. Just keep it the same. And then you do not need the rate. Let me see. Do you need rate? No, we'll do it this way. Okay. Now this function has been modified. This thing's bothering me severely. Now this add exchange, all it does, it doesn't take a rate because everything is convertible by USD, right? So all this
Mm-hmm.
add exchange does is declares that two currencies can be exchanged back and forth. Okay,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then finally there's the original exchange function, which given the currency you have and the currency you want and the amount of the currency you have, return the amount of the target currency you will get. So this actually performs, quote unquote, performs the exchange, right? If, for example, these two
Mm-hmm.
strings were previously added via add currency, but they were not added via add exchange, that would not be valid. Does that part make sense? Do you want me to go through an example?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe maybe an
Okay, cool.
example will
So let me
help.
put the example just beneath the constructor here. Okay. So let's say I do exchange, right? Or exchange equal to currency exchange, right? And then I do, you know what I can do? I can do this inside of main. Here, I'll do this inside of main. My exchange equals currency exchange. Base currency is going to be USD. And then, yeah. Okay, so I'll initialize it, and then I want to do my exchange dot add currency. I want to add, oops, that's not how you type, add, and then the value to base. So basically 1 CAD, let's see, so this is valid to base. So 1 CAD equals how many USDs? In this case, it's 0.8, 0.8D. And then I'll add another one just for sake of argument. So I'll add GPY. So 1 GPY. Oh, that's a terrible currency. I'm just lazy. So 1 equals 1.1 USD, I think, something like that. And then I'm going to say, and by the way, USD is also implicitly added. So you have to modify the constructor to do stuff. So USD is also a currency here, okay? With a value of 1.1, obviously.
Uh-huh, okay.
And then I want to say, so if I do, for example, yeah, and then now I'll do my exchange dot add exchange. So do CAD to USD, and then yeah, so that's exchange, right? And now if I say, for example, exchange my exchange dot exchange, if I say, for example, UR to USD, and then I want to say, I don't know, 100, right? This should return like this should throw. This should throw because we have not added UR to USD explicitly as an exchange here.
Okay. Oh, this is. Oh, yeah. This is getting clear. Okay.
Okay, so now if I add
Why was I so
UR to
panicked?
USD,
Okay.
so now I add it as a valid exchange, and then I try to convert it, then it should be okay. Then it should return. Return, what is that? 100 times what's the 1 time?
Okay. Yeah. This makes sense now. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's go through it then. So I would say start with the constructor. So remember that USD becomes
Oh
a
yeah.
valid, or not, it could be any currency, right? I wrote USD, it could be anything. So remember that this base currency is also a valid currency.
Yeah.
So a couple of things here. I think this is a fine way to start, right? So so you don't think more. Oh, oops, my mouse is glitching. This currency is a pretty valid way to start. Remember that the base currency is a valid currency, so I would recommend putting that inside your currencies map.
Oh, inside my
Yep,
constructor,
yep, inside the
maybe
constructor because
like
oh
this.
no. So make the declaration outside. So undo that. Yeah,
Oh wait, make it and then just make it
that's
inside
fine. Yeah,
the
that's fine.
like
But
this.
also be
Okay.
sure to add your base
Yeah.
currency to currencies.
Right? Yeah. Okay. So I can do currencies. The put and first the string can be the base currency here. For example, that would be USD, and then the value would just be 1.0 since that's our base case. But since this is not what we want, we can do.
Well, this is a double. There's no new here.
Oh,
Yeah,
just
that's right.
1.0.
Yeah,
There you go.
nice. Okay. Yeah, let's go to the so let's implement the next one then.
Okay. Now to add a new currency, then that would be currency dot put, and then you can just put the new currency with the value to base within the currency. There you go. I keep doing Control
Yeah,
S. My
that's fine.
bad.
It doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that works.
Yeah. What's next?
And then at exchange. Mm,
So this one you
wait.
might need a new map for, right? Because these are different types than what you have in currencies.
Yeah. Oh, okay, okay. I see how this is. Oh, okay. I see how this is. Oh, this is like okay. Um, we will need a different map for all the rates, holding the rates for the.
I believe your currencies already has the rates because these are rates all relative to USD.
Yeah.
So we don't need to add more rates. We can calculate the rates if we're given two currencies that are valid. But you do need to have a map to
Oh,
store, the set of all, pairs of, set of all pairs of exchanges that you can perform.
what was it? Was it this one? I don't know if I'm doing this correctly. How am I?
Hash set you need to type if you're doing it that way.
We need to type. Oh, was it hashtag? What was the one that can hold in pairs with?
There should be a pair type. I'm not sure if it's imported here. You can assume it exists though. That's fine.
Mm,
Does it exist? You can assume.
this.
Let me see. Oh, it doesn't have pair. Well, you know what? You can assume this exists. That's fine. I'm not interested in that.
Okay, okay. Oh, great. There we go.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, going forward, we'll just ignore
Yeah.
the errors since pair doesn't actually exist, but that's fine.
Okay. Yeah. And then, yeah, exchange. Would just first check if the if there's an exchange dot contains. Well, what is going? The currency and the target currency here. If it doesn't contain it, we can as you said with the example over here, since it doesn't, we can just throw uh what was it? Illegal no, not accessory.
Legal argument exception. Yeah.
Yeah, this one. A legal argument exception saying that your your pairs of exchange doesn't exist or something like that. Yeah. And then and then since over here now we know that it
Mm-hmm.
exists, so we can uh to we can we can get the value for each of the rates by doing oh by doing currencies dot get
Mm-hmm.
that, and we get the value for the for example the EUR. Then we can do the same thing for the second one, like that. So we get the so it's like rate. Yeah.
Okay. So
Wait, am I doing this
these
right?
are these rates like what like how one of these how many USD you get from one of these currencies, right?
Yeah. Mm,
What are we thinking about here?
uh, I'm trying to I'm trying to see how I calculate to get the 110
Okay.
here. It's just yeah, we're just going from this rate to this. So wait, we don't even need we don't need this. What am I doing? I'm going all everywhere. You just return the amount. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, there you go. Now, yeah, we're just changing the rate of the what we have, and then we're dividing it based on what rate we want, and we're returning it.
Okay. Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask about this one. I mean, so we will be running the test. It's not a big deal. One thing I want to ask about this one is um, how we're storing the pairs of exchanges, right? Because for example, right now, if we were to add in, for example, CAD to USD, we add in CAD to EUR, CAD to JPY, that would add a new pair for everything related to a certain currency, right? Is there a way we can be a bit more efficient with that? For
Hmm.
example, if we had a map of a currency to a list of all the currencies it can be converted to,
List of all the currency that I can. Oh, so okay.
or a set of all the
Uh,
currencies it can be converted to, it doesn't matter.
oh, so rather than just having pairs for each, we just have one thing that maps to all of them, all the ones that already maps to that can already match to
Mm-hmm.
that one. Okay. In that case, can have a we can make a hash map for that
Mm-hmm.
case where whenever we're adding one new currency,
Yeah.
we can when we're adding the pairs for the exchange, we can just we can um put it both sides. So since we have a hash map for it, then for currency one, we can do currency one for the first value dot put currency two, and then for currency two, we can put currency one for it. So whenever we print out a list of all the values for currency one, it would
Hmm.
uh give all the of the list, yeah. Then it would be not string to string, it would be string to list of string.
So we don't need a pair here anymore, right? We can just get rid of that.
Yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, what's
Okay.
going on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this will work. Um, we should initialize this map though in the constructor probably.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just do this new, and then the add exchange. This will be different in terms of you can do add exchange dot um add where
Will it be put right? Put for maps.
we will be putting it. Wait, I'm not. Yeah, we're adding currency 2 for currency 1. So okay, over here we have currency 1, and then we're gonna be doing no. I think I should make this better. List of currency 1. Then we can do.
Okay, I like this.
Actually, no, wait.
Right, like we
Yeah.
want to get the list of target values that corresponds to the currency one, right? So how do we get that?
Yeah. This values.
It's
Yeah, there you go. For currency 1.
that gives you all of the values for the map. I think we're looking for dot get currency
Oh,
one.
yeah. Oh,
It's just get, yeah,
oh, it's just get.
just get.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
And
so keep
then
in mind though, right, like that this might return a null list because currency one might not have been added, or it would not have been. It doesn't have exist in the pair of exchange yet, so it might be null.
right. So we can check if that already if it exists in there, and then
Should be contains key.
there you go.
Okay, so if it contains key, yeah, then what does it
Yeah.
mean?
And then yeah, we get the list, and then within that list we can put our new currency that we can exchange for that currency 1.
Uh, this is instance of
Wait.
the list. So you're looking for add or append.
Oh, add. Yeah.
Okay. And then what if it doesn't exist in pairs of exchange?
What if it doesn't
Yeah,
exist
if it's the
or
first time we're adding this key to the map.
oh yeah, we should also check if currency 2 exists.
Before we go there, what if currency one doesn't exist?
Right. Yeah. Then we gotta check the currencies map as well from there to check if it exists from there. Yeah.
We can just use the else block here, right? So if the key doesn't exist, that means we need to make a new list because the list is null. Can you make a
Yeah.
new list?
Yeah. Z-
It would be an array list as an instance, as a concrete instance.
Right. Array list.
Yeah, and then you need to add what to this list?
I'll need to add the currency 2 for this list since that's what
Yep.
we're trying to do for the uppercase as well. Yeah.
Yep. Anything else?
And then for this case, I will need to also put it for the pairs of exchange here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do pairs of exchange dot put where currency 1 is mapped to this new array list over here.
Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah, and then we do this whole same process for
We can skip that
currency
part. That
2.
part doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Um, all right. Is there anything else that you think we need to talk about, or is this the complete solution?
And then yeah, also where like you gotta check if the currency exists or currency 1 and currency 2. Like that will just be the base case in the start over here, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah. And then that's it for the add exchange for implementing
Mm-hmm.
in that way, yeah.
Are the other functions done as well?
Oh, other
Yeah.
functions?
Just want to confirm.
This looks fine. I guess we could also check if the currency exists in the exchange as well.
Yeah. There's the base cases you can check, but
But I don't think it will be. Yeah, I think it should be fine since you're already checking the pairs of exchange where you're also checking the currency within there.
yep.
So
Okay.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think it
Sounds good.
looks good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Let's pause here. I want to leave a bit of time here for giving you a bit of feedback on the situation, on the solution, and give you some opportunity to
Yeah.
ask any questions about it as well. So let's just start about what's going on here. So, um, and first of all, it's good that you kind of pause to talk about a bit of the functionality that we want to support. Um, but keep in mind, right, for OOD, for object-oriented design questions, that's the most important part, right? The most important part is to be clear about what the functional requirements are. Okay. And so what that means is that if you
Yeah.
aren't 100% certain on the functional requirements, you shouldn't really proceed to do any implementation because that's going to be wasting time if it's not correct. Right? So that's the first thing is to be
Right.
100% sure. And this is true for a lot of things. And I would go as far as to say is that like to confirm that you understand the functional requirements, you should be writing method signatures for the API. Right? So for this case, I said that there's going to be two supportive function. The original question, right? I said there's going to be two supportive functionalities, which is to specify the exchange rate between two currencies, right? And when you hear that, that means I need a function to let the user specify an exchange rate between two currencies. And so you should write the function signature down and say, oh, is this what you're thinking of, right? Get the confirmation there. The second piece of
Yeah.
functionality
Yeah.
was that you need to support exchanging an amount of currency, right? And and I was purposely vague about this one because a lot of engineers will want to test because like object-oriented programming is not just about can you write Java, which is part of the skill, but not all the skill. There's also part of the skill is also heavily involved in whether or not you can differentiate prompts that are vague versus specific. So, for example, the first one would have been a pretty specific prompt. The second one was pretty vague, and the reason it's vague is because it doesn't specify functionality such as what happens if there's an error, like what happens in the unhappy cases, like if a currency doesn't exist, right? It doesn't specify those kind of behaviors. So that's up to you to ask and clarify about those behaviors, so you can implement them correctly. Right? Otherwise, you would run into that when you implement it, and then you realize, oh, what do I do here? I don't know what to do, right? But you could have asked that earlier, right? So that will save you time and it prevents you from making silly mistakes later. So in general, it's true that you want to make
Yeah.
sure that you understand all of the functional requirements before moving on. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
In this
That's,
case, because I see that you are unfamiliar with the situation, I just gave you the function signatures to help you, but know that that's generally expected that you come up with that yourself, because that is a sign that you actually
yeah.
understand the requirements from the interviewer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, There were a couple things that were kind of like like I saw you were unfamiliar with in Java, right? I'd say in general, if you're at the level where you're not sure about like the functions for interacting with a map or a list, you should definitely review those, right? If you were
Mm-hmm.
given the option
Yeah.
to not use Java, I would say use something else because you were spending too much time on things that were not the problem.
Oh yeah.
But obviously,
Yeah.
if you don't have a choice, then do the best you can. Um, but just know
Mm-hmm.
that like I would personally consider this level to be like use Python if you know Python better.
Okay. Okay. Makes
Um,
sense. Yeah. Yeah. Python is so much easier. So.
yeah, it's definitely some things that aren't here that you have to know. For example, the thing with regards to the pairs, right? Not knowing the pairs is that's not going to help you. There was some struggling with initializing maps. There's some generics issues in there, right? So, like
Mm-hmm.
those things, depending on how strict the interviewer is, they might consider that to be a blocking issue, and therefore they would require you to fix that before moving on. Because
Yeah.
yeah, technically speaking, that's objectively incorrect, and that wouldn't work. So, yeah, so it depends on that. Depends on the interviewer, really. Um,
Mm.
regarding now backing up right regarding the problem itself again there was some confusion regarding how the stuff kind of works again I think that's something you could have clarified ahead of time you might have made the incorrect assumption that I gave you full information about the situation which is not true and that's generally speaking that won't be true right a lot of the problem comes down to your ability to kind
Mm-hmm.
of dissect what was given and figure out if there are other missing information that you need to ask for okay so be aware of that
Okay. Yeah.
um, otherwise, I want to just quickly go over a couple things that are just basic Java patterns I want to just clarify about. Right, first of all is, I should pause there before I start going through some more code details. Are there any questions about the process or how you approach the problem that you want to get feedback on?
No, no. I think I was just fully confused. Yeah. Until you gave some
Yeah. Okay.
examples. Yeah.
One thing also, yeah, about examples is that it's a pretty good. This is also true for leak code as well. Is that if you're not sure, even after you write in the function signatures, you're not sure about the behavior of the system. It's a pretty good idea just to write some examples yourself. Like for example, you could have definitely written this main example I have here by yourself and said, "Hey, is this the correct should I throw here? Is this the expected behavior? Okay, now if I add it to the valid currency exchanges and now try to exchange it, is it going to be correct now?" Right. So these are things that you could have asked ahead of time that probably would have um, helped you clarify things going on. So just be aware of that.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Um, okay. So that's the first thing, just about process. A couple of things here. So exceptions that might be different in Python. Exceptions are classes in Java, so these things need to be you have to initialize them. And one thing I also noticed is that all
Oh.
conditionals need to be surrounded by by parentheses. So so you
Oh,
need
that's
to just keep that in
okay.
mind, like
Yeah.
this kind of syntax stuff, right?
Okay. Yeah. This is all
Right. The other
syntax.
one is
Okay.
you're removing the initialization between the constructor versus the class. It doesn't really matter. So just pick one and stay with it, but just make sure you initialize it because, for example, you didn't initialize the second parameter that we made for the class until I prompted you for that one, right? So even if your solution was correct, if you don't initialize it, it wouldn't work. So be aware of that one.
Mm.
Um, oh yeah, always initialize your variables. Okay, last thing I'll
Okay.
say just about general code style is with regards to hash maps, right? So I'm sure if you do Python a lot, you're probably familiar with the default dict, right? So you might have like what do you have like this case you'll have
Right. Yeah.
pairs equals default dict, and you would have a set, or no, sorry, you have a list in this case. I'm just modeling exactly what we have here. Okay, so this is what you would have,
Oh
right?
yeah.
It's the same thing in Java, but a bit different. So you would do. So let me just comment this out and just write some more comments here. So to emulate this behavior, just to confirm, are you familiar with the default dict in Python? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what you
I'm
would do here
familiar with
is
it.
you would
Yeah.
do um, pairs of exchange dot put pairs of exchange. So you would put at cur. So the cur one you always put in cur one, and here you want to put a list, right? So we can do is var cur list equals pairs of exchange dot get cur1. Oh, so it's get or default cur1, and then you would put an instance. So here in Python, you will put list here because list is a generator function which produces a list. In Java, you just use a constructor, like so. Why is it unhappy? Oh, I think the no braces there. My tabbing, yeah. And then you would just put cur list dot add character. So this is how you would emulate the same behavior in Java.
Right.
This is what's wrong with this. Cur list dot add. Whoops. Yeah.
Oh, you put just curless.
Because cur list dot add returns void. There's a couple more elegant ways to do this, but this is, I think, that the basic level, this is the easiest way to kind of think about it. Is there's this get or default function which does the exact same thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Since oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it gets the value corresponding to cur1. If it doesn't exist, the default value is a new array list, which is the same thing as what default dict does, right? So, so
Yeah.
so
Oh. Well, that's
just
a really
so
good
just
way.
this little
Yeah.
tip for you, very useful. And one more thing I'll say, the very last thing, because I just remembered this came into mind, is the second type you specify for this is list, which is fine. But if you thought about it for a bit more, I think you could have realized that that could be a set instead, right? And a set would be slightly more efficient than a list. So yeah, a couple more details on the end here, but I think in general, what needs to improve the most is just thinking about the process a bit more, and always be questioning the interviewer to make sure that you understand the problem fully. And don't be afraid to write tests, or in this case, just a sample use case program I did in main, right? Don't be afraid to write that to make sure that you and the interviewer are aligned. Because a risk is always that you think you understand, but you understand it differently than the interviewer, and then it's not correct, right? So it's generally
Yeah.
worth
Yeah.
the time to, if you're confused, that is. If it's not confused, then it's fine. If you are confused, then I would say it's generally worth the time to write the example program, because it took me like what 1 minute. It might take you like 3 or 4 minutes, but that's a good use of time if it saves you more than that amount of time later on, right? So that's just a tip for you
Yeah.
in the bed.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Oh wow. Oh, these are some great tips.
Cool. Any other questions before we move on? Before I end it here?
No questions yet. It looks like you covered almost everything what I wanted to ask. Thank
Okay.
you.
Well, yeah. Thanks for your time. Thanks for participating. Take care.
Oh
Take care.
yeah,
Take
thank
care.
you so much. Okay,
No worries.
thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye bye.
Great. Oh, I see a question in the chat. Do we always throw exceptions in OD? Always? No, not always. But generally speaking, if the user gives an invalid input, which is typically allowed, right? Users can't be perfect. Then you have to give something reasonable as a return value. Sometimes the default value is okay, like 0 or null or empty string. Other times, if it's like critically bad, then you want to throw an exception, right? In this case, right, where we're doing this currency exchange, if the user is trying to exchange currencies between two currencies and it's not valid and they're actually giving you a certain amount of money, I think in this case it actually makes sense to throw the illegal argument exception, because your arguments are not valid. Like, these are not valid currencies that you can use. So yeah, it depends. Not always, right? Not always, but yeah, it's not unusual, I would say. For the Python one, can't we just was that for Python ones? Can we for the Python one we can't just do pairs equals that? Yeah, you can. So that would be a dictionary as well, right? The only difference is that if you're using a regular dictionary in Python, you would have to check if a key exists, and then if a key doesn't exist, then you do the same thing, right? The default dict in Python is what I was trying to compare this to, because if the candidate here who was familiar with Python was doing this problem in Python, they would have used a default dict, which is pretty natural. And then, and I was just showing them how you can emulate similar behavior in Java with the get or default function for a map. So, can you use a pairs equals regular dictionary in Python? Yeah, you can. I mean, Python's a Turing complete language. You can do whatever you want. But I'm just saying that the programmatic way, right, the Pythonic way, as they call it there. Would a tuple be better? Not necessarily. It depends. We originally had a pair, right? A pair in Java is basically a tuple. The reason that I was saying that the tuple is not efficient is because you're storing twice as much memory. You're using twice as much memory to always be storing the from currency, when instead you can just store the front currency once and then store a set of all the two currencies, right? So you save half the memory there. So that's why I suggested it in the first place, and also because it's a pretty easy modification to make. But yeah, you could use tuples. It's not a big deal. And lastly, what happens if you don't know the exception names? There's two things you can do. The first thing is that generally speaking, it's first of all, obviously, yeah, it's good to know the common exception names in your language, right? Those are just always good to know because if you don't know them, do you really program that language, right? That's the kind of question people will ask. But to answer the question, what happens if you don't know? In languages like Java, exceptions are classes that eventually extend one of the base exceptions, such as checked exception, runtime exception, etc. So you would just define your own exception. You would just like, okay, I'll define my exception, which happens in this case, and I'll just throw it. Right? That's less good than using the existing Java exception if it exists at its use case. But yeah, you can just in Java you can just make your own exceptions.